Hi, I'm Rick Goode, and you're listening to the Langara Voice Podcast. You know what? I'm bored, and I don't think I'm the only one who feels this way.
I'm bored. I'm the chairman of the board.
Vancouver is chronically known as No Fun City, a name that I feel is pretty appropriate. If you don't have money for a bar or a restaurant, your options are pretty limited. Statistics Canada recently released a study showing that only 45% of Vancouverites report having a high satisfaction with their quality of life. As a math whiz, I'll let you in on a secret. That's less than half. So why is that? What do we have to be upset about? I mean, other than the rising price of housing, unaffordable groceries, imminent climate change, and a brewing trade war, but other than that, what do we have to be so upset about? Well, if this study is to be believed, only 44% of Vancouverites report that they feel a strong sense of community in the area they live. That's some of the lowest in any urbanized areas in Canada. A lot of that has to do with how we laid out our cities. We built this city around cars, and more cars. Now I know we have a lot of fancy people that need to get to really important places all the time, but the effect of that is an isolation from our neighbors and our community around us. This phenomenon has been dubbed the death of the third place. This means that in modern society, we kind of only have two places that we go. We're either at work or we're at home, and there's not really any in between. I mean, sure, sometimes we'll go to the bar and spend a bunch of money on overpriced beers, but honestly, if that's not in the budget, what's your other option? But hey, I'm just some guy. I mean, I'm a guy who did a bunch of research and put together this video and talked to people, but whatever. Let's talk to an expert. Michelle Guyon-Creeley works for Happy Cities, an organization that works with cities in planning new areas and making them more human-forward. Michelle had a lot to say about our city and a lot of what needs to be done. So let's talk to Studio Rick and see what the deal is.
I'm Michelle Guyon-Creeley, and I am a planner and landscape designer.
And can you tell me a little bit about your organization, Happy Cities?
So Happy Cities is a urban planning firm that focuses primarily on building cities that are happier, healthier, and more resilient.
So how important to community is kind of the overall city layout?
It's everything. I think a well-designed city, or a city that's designed where community is at the center of it, it makes for a healthier and happier city.
I think that a lot of the time Vancouver gets the no fun city moniker. First of all, do you feel that that's earned?
Yeah. I think that Vancouver is often afraid of change. At the same time, I feel like it is a community that is can be kind of rigid on the outside, but is actually very caring and wanting to do different things. And so there's some very cool examples of gardens and spaces that have been built as a result of people wanting to really take agency over this space.
I guess I just wanted to so growing up I had youth centers in town. I grew up in New West, which is a little bit smaller and a little bit more community based, I'd say.
Yep.
So we had youth centers and stuff like that, but then when I grew up it was okay, now you're an adult, you have money, go to the bar now. And it's or go to this restaurant, and other than the downfall of capitalism, I guess, how do we create spaces where people don't have to spend money?
Yeah, that's a really tricky question. Yeah, because stage capitalism is just generally terrible. I really feel it's being connected to your neighbors, and it sounds very utopic, but I guess in my own personal outside of work explorations, but also through doing community engagement, the being really connected to the people around you really makes such a difference in how you view a space. If you're feeling welcome and not lonely and feeling very connected to something beyond yourself and your home, or seeing that your home fits into the puzzle of your neighborhood, that's a really special feeling.
That's great. Thank you so much for joining me today. Where can people find you and your organization?
I am actually not on the internet anymore. I'm on a social media cleanse. I couldn't do it.
Wow.
So I am nowhere to be found, but Happy Cities is on all the platforms. happycities.com is our website. We post a lot of stories and a lot of research that we've been doing. And we also have a pretty fun newsletter. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know
What we're doing tonight? So it seems like the solution isn't just move out of the city like a lot of people say. It's a little more complicated than that for most people. Change is coming, and hopefully the developers who are building these giant high-rises can be convinced to make their amenities a little more human instead of Honda-centric, but we'll see. It seems like the best course of action, right now, is to build community in spite of the isolation. One of the best ways to do that is through common ground. Find something you like to do and go do that thing. I know it's hard and I know it's weird to make new friends, but trust me, you're not the only person that likes this thing. I don't know if you can tell by what's behind me or the fact that I look like this, but I'm a huge nerd. Tabletop games like Magic the Gathering or Dungeons & Dragons or Warhammer 40,000 have been exploding in popularity lately, and those are a great way to find a community. I went to Rain City Games in Vancouver and talked to them about the tabletop games they've been playing and the community that's sprouted around them. Located in Vancouver, Rain City Games has been building community around nerd culture.
Most of the time, it's people meeting new people. They're basically coming together over a shared love of whatever game, and then they sort of form friendships and communities here in the store, which is fantastic to see. We love it. Our community is a diverse mix. It kind of depends which game you're talking about. But yeah, we have really passionate groups of Magic the Gathering players, Dungeons and Dragons players. A few months ago, we started hosting in-store speed puzzling events, which has brought a whole new crowd.
After we were done at the shop, a player invited us back to his house, where he and good girl Molly showed us his Warhammer 40,000 collection.
Like strategy, more intense kind of adult games I've been playing for the past 8 or 9 years. Starts with going to a board game store or a tabletop store or whatever. And from there, the more you put yourself out there, the more you find that you are surrounded by like-minded folks. There's definitely a sense of community that comes with tabletop gaming. So no, it's been nothing but welcoming, and then as with any space, the more you show up, the more you're recognized and the more welcome you are, as long as you're being decent and approachable.
So, if you like nerd stuff, or even if you don't like nerd stuff, go find a community. Go find some people you like being around. Because it's not your fault that you feel isolated, but you can do something about it. For the Langara Voice, I'm Rick Goode.